You know, one of the things I've learned is that if you're going to be successful in life and business, you got to get comfortable with things that make you uncomfortable. We all have kind of this internal meter where we have our comfort zone. Sometimes bad things can happen and knock us out of our comfort zone, and what do? We get back to our comfort zone, right? Maybe we get divorced and that knocks us out of our comfort zone, and 2 years later we're married again, right? People fix things. But the opposite can be true too. Sometimes you can have something great happen in your life, and even though it's better, it feels just as uncomfortable because it's something new. So it's really important to get comfortable with the progress that might make you uncomfortable. I want to share a little story with you about a trip out in Maui when I was writing my first book, and an encounter I had with one of my childhood heroes, Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac, and how you just never know what to expect, and you got to make sure that you're ready to accept the success just as much as you're willing to reject the failure. This may come as a shock to you, but I was very comfortable being a loser. Not at first, but you don't live in prison for 13 years and just like hating life every day. You just drive yourself crazy. You get used to it. It became comfortable. I'd get up in the mornings, I'd go to the chow hall, I'd come back. 10 o'clock, they would open up the yard. I'd go out to the gym for a couple hours, run, lift, come back for lunch, go to the library in the afternoon and study. Got a routine going. I wasn't miserable. I was comfortable. You can get comfortable with anything. People do. And I was in that zone, that place for so many years and got comfortable that when I got out and started having a successful life and growing a successful HVAC company and writing books and stuff, even though it was better, it was uncomfortable. And it really hit me one night when I had just finished writing the manuscript for The Upside of Fear. And I was at my condo out in Maui, and I just finished the manuscript for my first book, and I was like, holy, I got a house in Maui. I wrote a book. My business is doing well. Man, things are really cooking. So I decided to go out to dinner to have a little celebratory dinner. I was by myself. And I went to my favorite little restaurant in Maui called Mala. It's right on the ocean, very small, tiny place. And I walk in, the tables, it's two-seater tables, and your knees almost touching the person next to you. So small and packed in there. But I come in, I sit down, I order whatever I'm ordering, and I see an old Model T pull up in the parking lot. And out of the Model T steps Mick Fleetwood, the drummer for Fleetwood Mac, who was one of my childhood heroes. The album Rumors, one of the best albums ever, one of my favorites of all time, and Mick Fleetwood, of course, was the drummer for the band, and just a legendary career. I'm like, holy crap, that is Mick Fleetwood. And dude's like 6'7". Like, I didn't know it. He's a tall, lanky guy. And he's got some other guy in the car when they get out. I see him walking, and they come in, and they sit down right next to me. And it's like, almost like I was in a conversation because they're talking about some tour or some project they're working on. And I'm sitting there like, I just wrote a book. I got a condo in Maui, and my business is good. I'm sitting next to freaking Mick Fleetwood. I mean, I'm a baller now. That's what I'm thinking. And all of a sudden, the voices start. Who do you think you're kidding? You're a total fraud. You're not like these people. You're a 9th grade high school dropout, 3-time loser. You're tricking yourself. You're fooling yourself. This ain't going to last. Don't get comfortable, baby. And I started talking myself out of it. Now, fortunately, I've been studying this stuff and teaching it for so long. Like, whoa, slow down. All those old tapes were playing. And I could see it clearly for the first time that I was trying to talk myself out of it. And I remember specifically telling myself, it's not going to last. Why? It's going to be gone at some point. You're going to screw it up. You have to be so careful about these conversations in your head because you'll talk yourself out of success. As you can see, that you got to get comfortable when things are getting better because they'll still make you uncomfortable. I thought I was a fraud. I was faking myself out, but really I had earned everything that I had, that house in Maui, that opportunity to write that book. And so you just got to get comfortable with the idea that as you grow in life, as you become successful, that great things are going to happen. That encounter with Mick Fleetwood really was a testament to me that you got to be careful and never get too comfortable because when things come along and happen great, it's going to get you uncomfortable. But you got to get used to that if you want to see things get better.